Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And please welcome here for this week's episode, Ending,
Hey everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Maven,
Hey, y'all.
and Aerother.
Hello, everybody.
And hello everybody, and let's head into our news for this week, because despite the holidays, we do have news. So we'll begin with the news on the server transfer tokens, which were promised for everyone when we got to a certain point in the transfer process.
That's right, Pineleaf. Basically, everyone will be getting 3 free character transfer tokens in addition to the free transfers that they'd normally be getting off of Dying Worlds. So these are just for the remaining worlds. You get 3 transfers for whichever characters you want to move to whatever server that's remaining. So that's a pretty good deal. That's way more than I thought they would do. I like that's really good.
Now, please note that each of the remaining servers has a little bit of time in which they will be allowed free transfers off of them. Currently, they're going in about a minimum of 1 week cycle, though during the holidays and all that stuff, there's this little extension on that matter. And then after all 5 have had a little period on them, then each server will have a 1 month period. So therefore, if you could wait a little bit of time and you want to move from one of the remaining worlds to another one, you could wait a little while and wait until you get your little free period.
Right.
So let's head into the main news for today, and that
Actually,
is the producer's letter.
quick question on the transfer tokens. Do they
Oh,
expire at some point, or will we basically have these 3 if we decide not to use them? Will we have these 3 for a good long whiles?
as far as I know, they will last forever, or at least as long as Lotro's up, obviously.
Well, yeah. Okay, cool. Carry on, carry on.
Carry on then. Then we'll head back then to the producer's letter, which explains what the overall goals are for 2016.
That's right, Pineleaf. We have bigger news than we've ever had Christmas week. Normally, this is like the smallest show, and we have like 5 people on this week and big news, so this is exciting. Um, it's kind of following a recent trend where like a few weeks ago we had the big news surprisingly as well. So,
Yeah.
all right. Anyway, let's go ahead and go on into the new letter. So Vivian starts out saying, our story continues in 2016 with riding with the Rohirrim to the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and then taking the battle to the enemy as we push towards the Black Gates. It's going to be an exciting year to be sure.
That's for sure. That will mean then that Pelennor is most likely going to be the spring update, and I would presume an autumn update for heading towards the Black Gates. So the question is how close we get to the Black Gates, but that's an entirely different matter.
Yeah, well, it does say as we push towards the Black Gates,
Right.
which is an interesting way of putting things. It'll be interesting. Let's go around the table here and see like, how far do we think we're gonna get to the Black Gates, and are we gonna go somewhere else first? Is there gonna be side stuff? What do you guys think? Let's start with Pineleaf since you kind of brought this up.
In my opinion, I believe that we are going to start the journey and that we are going to reach the point where the road branches off from where you go to Minas Morgul, and that while the rest of the people continue towards the Black Gate for a while, we are going to make a quick little nab into seeing what's going on in Minas Morgul before we catch up with the rest of the party.
All right, that would certainly be interesting, but it would make sense because the current landmass we're right next to Minas Morgul.
And besides, we do have to go up Kirith Ungol because we've got I think it's the minstrels who have an epic quest that they've got to do in Kirith Ungol.
Yeah, the question is when. When are we going to?
Well, yes, there is a question of when, but this sounds. And besides, we have to have our Shelob raid, right?
That's true, but they've jumped all over the place before Pineleaf. They've gone from like Eriador all the way to Rovanion and back randomly
Well,
when they went back to Enidwythe. So
I think that this is going to be something. Yes, but forced to go there later will be tough because
That's true.
Minas Morgul might collapse or something like that after Barad-dûr. Oh, that actually, Minas Morgul was originally built by the Gondorians and was corrupted. Never mind.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Anybody else have any other thoughts?
Yeah. I think, I mean, it says that talks about riding with the Rohirrim to the Battle of Pelennor Fields, then back to the enemies we push towards the Black Gate. I think, I mean, I think we'll be going back, almost back to Helm's Deep, like back to Rohan, and then doing stuff going south. Seeing the wooded hillmen, like wooded hillmen, the woodsmen like Gonburigan and stuff, or Gonburigan, or however the heck you pronounce it, and then maybe ending with the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and then going to that crossroads, setting up for the next update.
I don't think we'll go all the way back up to Rohan, but I think that
Probably
there's
not.
definitely going to be a zone that they're going to be adding where
Yeah.
there will be Rohirrim, because there is Northern Gondor, or whatever that label is on the map, that is basically above Minas Tirith.
Oh, that's when we visit the Wozes in.
Right.
Right, but I figured that's going to be the spring update, and I
Yes,
thought your question
exactly.
involved the fall update.
So, yeah, my guess is as well as we'll be getting new landmass with that. What's interesting though is this is the first producer's letter where they have not specified the zones we'll be getting, or at least like general areas. It's very vague, as like saying as we push towards the Black Gates,
Yes.
um, which suggests to me that maybe because of all the raids and everything that they're building, plus the new landmass as we go and get the Rohirrim and all that stuff, maybe they don't know how far we're gonna get. So
Yeah, or maybe we won't even have um, like terribly whole lots.
yeah,
Like looking at it, I don't really see that we're going to have brand new regions.
with the raid that would be hard. I do think
Yeah,
it will
I,
have
I
at least
really
one
honestly
new
I
area.
don't necessarily expect that we'll even get any new regions.
I think we have to for the Battle of the Pelennor Fields because of the way that the story ends. And like minor spoiler alert, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but just in case you just really, I don't know, I might slip something. Um, at the end of the story, it suggests that we have to go and get the Rohirrim, which
Yeah,
suggests that we would be riding on a path that would
true.
be through a
So
new
probably,
area.
yeah, probably through that northern Gondor
Yeah.
area.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised if we don't at least get that. Beyond that, I don't know if we're gonna get a new area.
We might, I mean, we might do northern Gondor, and then the part where Aragorn sends people away to capture Carandros.
Hmm.
We might even get up through that
Yeah, that
and
would be
have
cool.
and Pineleaf have a Carandros skirm. Be
Well,
fun.
that would be good.
Yeah, the main question here is pushing towards the Black Gates involve going into Mordor and doing all sorts of stuff, and then
Yeah.
coming back
Well,
out, and then going north, and then to the Black Gate.
well, that's as I said. We'll only be getting it Minas Morgul, which is the borderline of it, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah, going deep into Mordor, I would say that's definitely out. The deepest we will go
That won't happen
is
until after Sauron
yeah.
falls.
The
yeah, I
deepest
agree.
Yeah,
that we
Mordor.
will go is I would say is the tower in Kirithungel.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the question, are we going to go into the south area and free basically enslaved people that have been enslaved by Sauron? Because that's something that has to happen too.
Yeah, but I think that's 2017.
Maybe, but do
I
you think
see,
that
I,
I
we
that'll
see
have
be
to
that
we have to have
being
the
before?
Scouring the Shire before that.
I see that being
Okay.
uh, afterwards, because there is a space of time after Sauron falls before the Hobbits return. I think
Yeah,
that space of time in this story is when we'd be heading south, because
yeah,
there's nothing else to do.
that
Yes,
makes sense.
because there are 3 months between that because you can remember Sauron falls right on the March 21st, which means about a week before. Right, March. Right, he moves then, which is just before the equinox
Yep.
sets. The equinox is on April 1st in their calendar, and that Aragorn gets married on Midsummer's Day, which is Leith, right around Leith. So that'd be July 1st.
When
That's
does
3
Eowyn
months.
get married? They get married after? Does Aragorn get married first? Everybody else gets married after?
Yeah, there's a decent space of time. And
Yeah.
whether they come back in September almost?
Well, you know we're going to have to
They
run around and help
arrive.
Aragorn and
No,
Arwen get prepared to get married.
Well, in
We're going to
our
have a whole
Maid
bunch
of
of fuss
Lions
about that.
interview, Maid of Lions did confirm that we will be going and basically going back to old areas and seeing things happen. And so I'm assuming that Eowyn getting married and all that other stuff is going to be things that we'll see, even though that's in Gondor, but still.
as for the question about when the Scouring of the Shire is, the the Battle of Bywater is in November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a long way away from where we're currently at,
So realistically, we're only halfway through this story time-wise.
time-wise.
But I think there will be enough to
Yay.
do. The original question about when would we go south, I think there's going to be enough to do without going south between um, Fall of Sauron and Scouring of the Shire.
Oh, for
We'll be
sure.
running all over the place.
Yeah.
We'll be messengering,
I'm drawing
and
a
being
line
sent
at
to.
holding people's wedding trains, though.
Yeah.
If I have to go find some special silk for Arwen's wedding dress, I'm not going to be happy. Throwing that out
Oh, that's the purpose of the Sheila braid. We have only spider silk from Sheila
There you go.
will be suitable for the dress.
I think we should get to pick. Do we want to help Aragorn get ready, or do we want to help Arwen get ready?
That would be cool. I would like that.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And then like have an option to go back and do the other two because we're so far into the game. But yeah, that would be
Right.
cool. That would be cool.
And then have like an option to sabotage the wedding because you're with the Ale Association or something.
Well, that'll be Terry when Elmrahil gets married.
Well,
yeah.
and then you have to have the sequel
Oh,
to
no, it's
the Minas Tirith drinking quests because clearly they're going to go back and drink some more and tell more stories. So you're going to have to prove their stories and collect
Oh,
a
that's
million
right.
items
Oh my God,
again.
those 3 guys will be sending us around again. Oh my God.
I hope that doesn't happen. I hope.
And they'll have big stories from the battle to tell.
Yeah. They'll be like, go get the Mumakil tusk that I killed, and it has like
Right.
these scorch marks from whatever.
It's out on the field somewhere. You'll find it, no problem.
You'll find it eventually. Just keep looking.
Now, actually, the whole thing about whether or not there would be any new areas, I think the answer to that is answered in the next section.
I think so as well, Pineleaf, but it is not a guarantee. The level cap will be increased to 105. Vivian writes, build on your heroism and power with 5 more levels of character advancement. Your imbued legendary items will not need to be replaced, but will continue to grow and level with you.
No. But we don't know when, right? We don't know when it could take place with the autumn update.
It could. We don't know when. I'm guessing that because in Gondor even we've been at level 100 so long. I don't know why they would have new raids and instances and then raise the level cap after that
Yeah.
because that essentially negates all the gear that you just ground for.
That
that's
right
true.
there is the
That's
reason
true.
why I'm not thrilled about the level cap thing, because of primarily because of the essence grind. Right, as it is already. I mean, as a guardian, I basically have a full set of stuff for tanking and a full set of stuff for DPS, and they're different. I've got easily 30 to 40 essences, and to have to replace all of those is just like so I really hope that this level cap increase doesn't involve increase in the essences, but I'm not holding
Well, one thing I've been thinking that games should have been doing for a long time, and they actually kind of did this with Rise of Isengard, is allow you to trade in your old stuff and get like half off on the new stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that would be not quite so bad, but it's like, I just really hope I don't have to deal with that because that would be a depressing moment in my LOTRO life.
I'm guessing you're gonna have to deal with that, and I actually kind of think that that's a good thing because there's been a long time where we did just have the Osgiliath instances not too long ago.
Right.
But I feel like that, we haven't had a raid in a long time, and with a raid, I
I'm
think people would be really upset if there wasn't armor with that raid.
Right. And here's the thing: is armor. Yes, let's do it. But I think increasing the essence tier would be a mistake because as it is with the current essence gear, I'm assuming that if we have an upgrade in the gear with a new raid, which is a very safe assumption, that you'd have something maybe like 6 slot essence armor or something like that, or 5 slot with a passive for your class or something.
Right.
But as it is with 5 slot essence gear and the jewelry now as well, it's not uncommon to see folks with 80,000 mastery and 20,000 morale.
Yeah.
And if we've got, another tier of essences, we're looking at 30,000 morale and 80,000 mastery, which is a little absurd.
Yeah, they've had like item bloat since Isengard, really.
Oh yeah, I remember the Rohan item bloat that just
Mm-hmm.
that
It's like
really
once you
made
hit
me
80,
shake my
somebody
head.
flips a switch,
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's gonna be even harder to balance things in the moors, and it'll be hard to
Yes.
balance instances unless you like grind for this really good gear, and so it'll be interesting to see how they handle all of that.
And that's the thing. That's why I hope that. I mean, I'm thrilled about a new raid. That's my thing that I'm looking forward to the most, hands down. Um, I just hope that they don't increase that essence tier, because I feel like if they did that, it would cause a lot more problems than it would solve, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But we'll see what happens.
All right, next up is, as alluded to before, new Fellowship challenges. Vivian writes, the Battle of Pelennor Fields will contain a new instance cluster, as well as a long-awaited 12-man raid.
Yay!
And it's incredible that some people were so cynical that their first question was, "This isn't another epic battle, is it?"
I think that they were right to ask about that, honestly, Pineleaf.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I don't know. If they said a new 12-man raid, I'm sorry. There's no way that would have been describing an epic battle, in my opinion.
I agree, especially since they said long awaited, but at the same time, when they talked about epic battles, they said they were coming in raids. So it's not too far off to assume that, especially if you're someone who has been asking for instances and told that you're not going to get them because the numbers aren't there and all that stuff like they've been saying with the old Turbine team. Luckily,
Well,
the new team finally is giving a new raid for players to play. That's great.
either that, or they feel that a raid fits fits the current storyline
Well, I think
better than
that's
it
the
had
case
in the
too.
previous one.
I think that's the case too. But I mean, even so, you wouldn't have to have a 12-man. You could easily do a 6-man as well.
Yeah,
They made a
because I
choice to
still
make a
haven't figured
12-man.
out why. Because I wasn't expecting. In fact, if you had asked me when the next raid was be, I would have placed bets on the upcoming fall update. I would not have expected one in the spring update.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I was very surprised when they said yes with Pelennor.
And I mean, the last 12-man that we've had was Dracok. Was there one with Riders of Rohan with the Hobbit stuff?
No. I mean,
Well,
when
actually,
did In
with
Their
the
Absence
Hobbits,
come?
actually,
There
yeah,
was-
there was a raid in Eberron.
There was a raid, but people didn't like it as much because it was not. I don't know. There was something
I
about
know
it that made
like
it.
the Erebor raids are hard.
Yeah.
1, 2, 2, which are.
Well, yeah,
they're
if I
fun.
remember, I've only done that once, and that was with the LOTRO Players Adventures.
Yeah, they're
We
pretty
didn't
tough.
do too well.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember from it.
So since 2012, we have not had a raid. So that's
Right,
good that
because
they're finally giving one in
right,
2016.
because Dragiok was that was a single boss fight, but that's a very big boss,
Right.
and that could be done depending on tier, either 12 or 24.
Right. Yep. So anyway, that's good. Really
I'm
excited
still
for that.
holding out because they do say instance cluster.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be just a raid, and I'm hoping.
No, it's not going to be
No,
just
it's
a raid.
not gonna be.
Instance
They
cluster
say-
implies 3s and 6s also.
Yeah.
Right, I'm hoping against hope that there's some sort of mounted charge, in some fashion, with the Rohirrim onto the field. I mean, it would be cool and laggy as heck to do it with 12 people, but it would be cool.
Yeah.
I would love a fellowship mounted combat.
Yeah. I
Be
think
fun,
raid
but at
might be
least-
too much, but I
I've
think
done-
fellowship would be good.
Because there's
Like-
nothing.
3 or 6 man. I could totally see a 6-person mounted combat group. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the roles are in mounted combat.
Hmm.
It's
I
just
thought they had recently said, though, that they had no plans for.
That was with epic battles.
there's
don't have
no
to
mounted
fight
combat epic battle.
They
Like,
said
Oh,
nothing
okay,
about
okay. You're right.
instances.
You're right. That was Epic Battle that they talked
Hmm
about that with.
yeah.
And I think
But
instances would be much easier to combine with
Which
mounted
is
combat
fine. You
anyway.
want to mix mounted combat with siege weaponry. Yeah.
So I think that it'll be interesting to see what happens. There's definitely going to be, with the new instance cluster, threes and sixes. It'll be interesting to see if they tie it in with mounted combat or not, or if they do something like in Lego Lord of the Rings, where they had like that moving line of mounted Rohirrim in like at the Battle of the Black Gate, where you're just like fighting inside of that. If it comes to that and that's like the only way they can do it, that would be fine. I understand it's
Somebody
an
in the
MMO,
chat says
but
But
ride the ballista.
all all I'm gonna say is that it better be epic.
Yeah.
but
Like,
not
it needs to
epic
be
battle,
epic.
just epic.
Right. Not an epic battle, just an epic battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Just so we're all clear on this issue.
Yeah, because an epic battle would be horrible, but hopefully they'll make this be an epic battle.
Yeah. I want an epic battle. Man.
Okay, have we confused everyone yet?
Hopefully. So, next up,
Chariot was the next comment. I felt that needed to be said.
yeah.
I got your back, Barnabas.
So next up, Vivian says that we will be adding UI elements to help you see and catalog many of the items you can already find in game. Our first collection system will be around emotes. Ever wondered what emotes are available to you? What they look like, or where you can get them? Now you will know. And they do say that what they will look like. So that sounds like there will be an actual like preview of your character doing the emote in this new
Which is
panel.
cool. If
Like
that,
an
if
emote
that actually
dressing
is a
room.
thing.
Like an emote dressing room.
Like an emote dressing room, yeah.
And like
I'm totally on board with that because
Yeah,
sometimes
Me
excited.
too.
sometimes you can try and doing an emote that you don't actually have and it tells you can't do it yet. And it's like, okay, well,
Right,
how do I
that's
get to where
useful.
I can do it?
oh, it would be really cool if they showed you emotes you can't do yet. So you could
Yes.
see if you actually want to get the emote.
Yes.
That would be
And
really
also,
cool.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that the current way it is with the whole hidden emotes, it's kind of cool, kind of fun, but it would also be quite nice to know how many more times do I have to convince someone to salute me, before I
Yeah.
do a sword salute. That sort of thing would be nice. But at the same time, I kind of like them being hidden too, because every now and then you're like, oh, hey, I'm beloved.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they have some kind of balance with that.
Yeah, it could be that they say be saluted several times or something like that, not give you exact numbers if it's a hidden one.
You need to be
Yeah.
saluted many more times. And then you need to be saluted a few more times. And then
Well, or even because for those of us who don't know that that's how you get the sword salute, even if they just tell you that you get this emote by being acknowledged or saluted by many players, and then you're like, oh, okay, I need to get people to salute me.
yeah, I think this could add a whole new level of like collections and grinding type of thing. It'd be interesting to see like if people actually start going for emotes more
Oh,
based on
there
the
will be a lot
system.
more interaction. Hey,
Yeah.
it's better than those stupid consumables
Yeah.
that people, I mean, I'd rather have people going around emoting people than throwing snowballs and, breathing fire at them.
You
And
want
it
to
gives
earn
me a
this
handy
faster?
list of what emotes I can put into Babel so that I don't see all of that junk in my chat window. Like 50 people all thanking each other.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, and Vivian does end out the letter saying that there will be quality of life improvements. She says, much like last year, we will continue to make quarterly patches that focus on bug fixing and general improvements to quality of life.
Which is
I
awesome.
love that as a description, quality of life improvements.
Yeah,
I don't know,
It's
I find
accurate.
that funny.
I
It's
find it funny
accurate.
as well.
Well,
I think in particular though that they started doing this in 2015, and there were actually a ton of great changes that came out of this. So I'm actually really excited about this.
I'm
And
putting in my request now. I want a combine all button. Please.
For
Oh,
what?
yes. Yes.
For
Yeah.
legendary
Oh.
items.
Oh,
It
yeah,
needs-
yeah.
it
Oh
needs
my
to be a
gosh,
thing.
yes. Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Or deconstruct all, or select the ones you want to deconstruct.
I was
or
just like,
something.
deconstruct all seems dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, if they can let you control select, well, yeah, you'd have to go through and lock the ones.
And there's
you don't
only
want.
like there's only Oh, I guess if you're buying a whole bunch of them, yeah.
If you have a stack of the same ones and could like control right click on them to deconstruct them, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
But combine all
And
needs to
Chris
be a thing.
says, and I agree with this one, or use the whole pill pile. Because if you've got like 50 plus 1000 LIXP,
Yeah,
you don't want to have to click
Yeah.
50
Oh
times.
God.
That
yeah, that would be
please save,
nice.
please.
Or at least like make it go to where it'll go until you get like to where it's like you can't use it anymore, so then you can just sell the rest on the auction house. So that make it to where you get to like kinship and then sell the rest.
Yeah.
All right, and Vivian does end out the letter saying, "We look forward to seeing you in Middle Earth as Lotro enters its 9th year." So she reminds us that Lotro is going to be 9 years old. So should be a good year. This is, I mean, we're getting raids, we're getting at least one new area, we're getting the level cap increase, and a new system with collections. That's pretty good stuff
It's
for
going
a
to be a
ninth.
busy year.
Hey, does this? Hey, I wonder if that means that we reach the Black Gates on the 10th anniversary.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
It'll be really interesting to see because, in 2017 that'll be Lotro's 10th year, and there is the, rumor that that'll be when Lotro ends and all that stuff. At least that's when their license is up for
They always
renegotiation.
have a rumor that the license is going to
There is,
expire
but it is
because
public knowledge that it is in 2017 is when that's going to take place. Turbine has
yeah,
said
and
repeatedly that Lotro is going to keep going as long as people support it.
right.
To me, that's the turn of the millennium conversation.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same
The
thing
world's gonna
because I think it
end.
was in 2014 where they had the same thing where people were saying, "Well, obviously we're going to end at 2014 because the license has been renewed." And
Right.
then they
Well,
told us,
and
"Okay,
that's something I really get annoyed by is that people keep just assuming that Lotro's on its deathbed.
I
yeah,
know. I think that's funny.
And it's really annoying to me because Lotro in the last year especially, or last 2 years I guess, with Vivian, there have been so many great changes and so many improvements, plus the story with this most recent update was my favorite part of the story that we've had so far. And yet people are saying things like it's on its deathbed. Well, if all the players say it's on its deathbed, then they'll stop spending money together and it will end. If
I
everybody
think
just assumes that Lotro's going to continue on and we keep spending money,
Well,
then it'll keep
fortunately, they
going.
have other
I
metrics besides
yeah.
what's
I
happening
think
in the
a lot of
background.
it Yeah, I think a lot of it is simply awareness. I cannot tell you how many dozens and dozens of people have come into my streams when I'm streaming and say, "Oh wow, this game still exists,"
Oh yeah, same thing with me. I
because they
mean,
have
just
no
this
idea.
just this week when I was doing Lotro streams, I had probably 5 people in my 6 streams that I did come in and say that, I can't believe Lotro's still around and basically asked like certain questions and decided to come back and join Lotro again.
Yeah, a lot of like that happened today in this stream. Somebody was like, "Oh wow, this game still exists. Is it good anymore?" And we're like, "Yeah, it's still good. Okay,
So
cool."
no, I
Download
don't.
the game.
I just play it. It's.
Yeah, what blows me away even more is people who have never found or heard of Lotro at all and come in still like in its 8th year currently and find out about Lotro and start enjoying it for the first time. It's
Right. I
just
mean,
amazing.
some of it, I'm sure is marketing, and some of it's all sorts of
Right.
reasons why that happens. I find it hilarious that I'm still getting constant updates in my Facebook that update 17 is now out. Yay! Come join us. Okay, twist my arm, right? But like, why is it like that? I don't know. It's just it's a great game, and there's all this new stuff. Will it end? I don't know. I mean, I hope not. But even if it does, it doesn't mean it's not a good game to play and enjoy now.
Well, I mean, if you
It's
look at
really the only thing we can
MMO
do.
track records, MMOs that make it this long in current like modern times, so post WoW, have continued on. They don't end typically when they get to this age. And for whatever reason, people still have this assumption that MMOs end because there's so many MMOs that end in like the first 4 years that people just assume that they're going to end as they get older. And obviously there are MMOs that end, like Asheron's Call, which is a Turbine game, recently had their servers turned over to the players. And so they stopped development and turned it over to the players. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and there's other other circumstances and stuff like that. I mean, just because no other MMO has lasted 8 years and then gone down doesn't mean this one won't, because there's numbers and all sorts of other metrics, including
Right.
licensing. But that, I mean, World of Warcraft doesn't have to do with licensing because it's its own thing.
Well,
Um,
and one thing we have to keep in mind is that LOTRO does not get its license directly from the Tolkien estate.
right.
They get their
So,
license from Middle-earth Enterprises, which may or may not have been renamed since then, I don't remember.
the Salzance company or something like that.
Well, Solzence is part of that. They're tied in because they are getting a lot of the copyrights. They're kind of the legal team for Middle-earth Enterprises. Um, so anyway,
I saw.
they don't get their rights from the Tolkien estate. They get it from an independent thing. And as long as LOTRO continues to make money, they're going to keep giving that license. Because why would they not? It's making them money, and Turbine is still working with the Tolkien estate, and it seems like that they're on good terms. They get everything approved by them, and also through Middle-earth Enterprises. So
I think the whole discussion comes down to, on the one hand, we are coming to the end of the story in a way and speed that would make sense if at the end of 2017 was the Scouring of the Shire end of the story. I'll admit that. On the other hand, and the license runs out then. But on the other hand, you've got the whole concept of, yes, it's a game, it's still making money, people still like it, and why would they go, like Barnabas said, why would they be like investing all this money in these server transfers if
Yeah.
it wasn't to continue the game?
Oh yeah,
That
if
is
they were
the-
planning on continuing, they would not invest all that.
that is the
money.
biggest sign, because there is no reason to be upgrading all your servers and doing all that stuff. I mean, yes, you'll have those servers for whatever next thing you have, but they have all the Infinite Crisis servers still, because that game just went to heck. So there's
It's
no
one of
reason
those
for them
things
to be
where-
upgrading all the LOTRO servers too, and the DDO servers, and they're definitely going to be continuing development. Otherwise, they would just leave it on the current stuff. Because, I mean, look how long the server transfers have taken. They're not even over yet, and they started near the beginning of this last year, pretty much. Or at least that's when they announced them.
I can see both sides of it, and I guess, I mean, there's no way for us to know, really.
Right.
It's still an incredible game. Incredible new things are coming, and all we can really do is play and enjoy it.
Yeah. And
Like, if it closes in 1 year, what will that mean for my gameplay? I don't know. Like, would I play it more? Probably not. Would I play it less? Probably not. Like, it's
Yeah.
just play it and enjoy the game, people.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, you just reminded me that that we're only a couple of months away from the DDO 10th anniversary, so it's
Oh wow.
It's just every time I hear somebody say that Lotro's dying or it's going to end in 2017, it makes me think of the Chicken Little story.
Yeah.
oh yeah. In fact, I think it was during the
Chicken?
I think it was during the Isengard update where they said that they looked into rumors that the sky was
I think you're right.
accelerating downward at a
Yeah.
very rapid rate.
Yeah.
But we found that those rumors were unfounded. That was one of the patch notes.
Yeah, and what's crazy is during that time, that was when LOTRO had its biggest hiring spree, and during Rise of Isengard, LOTRO was at its getting bigger and bigger, and then with Riders of Rohan, they were at their biggest size. And so
And there
it's
were still
crazy.
Rumors were going that it was going downhill and stuff even back then.
Yeah.
There's basically been rumors that the game's going to fold since the game came out.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually,
and
I think the rumors started in the middle of Alpha.
honestly,
Yeah.
probably, because look at what happened to Middle-earth Online. That game never came out. And so, it's interesting how that works. I think as long as DDO is still around, there's a really, really good chance that LOTRO is going to be still around and in development. I mean, look at EverQuest. The original EverQuest is still getting expansions, for crying out loud.
They're still getting expansions for the original EverQuest?
Yes!
Oh, I thought that maybe the servers were still up. I didn't realize that they were actually still putting up updates.
I don't know if it's expansions, but they're still getting updates. And so it's like, if EverQuest is still getting updates, and they have a sequel game that people play even in bigger numbers, then LOTRO can still stay around.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, if
So
that's the point-
there.
well, it's EverQuest and EverQuest 2, yeah, boy.
and a lot of people point to like the Star Wars Galaxies thing. Well, there's a few things with that. Star Wars Galaxies ruined itself heavily with its most recent update by basically taking away all grind and making a complete reversal in the type of game it was. And then secondly, SWTOR was coming out, and they were not going to have it compete with SWTOR. So, unless there's like another LOTRO MMO coming out, in which case we'll just play the new MMO, then I don't think we have anything to worry about. So I think LOTRO's in a good place for at least a few more years. I think we'll go beyond 2017.
And it is possible for two MMOs on the same team to exist. First of all,
It is.
as you said, EverQuest, and there's more than one MMO with DDO because, and not with Dungeons and Dragons, because it looks like each edition spawns its own version.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
I mean,
Let's go into our store
Even
sales.
Guild Wars. Look at Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. Those are both still going. So yeah, there's plenty of examples of multiple MMOs in the same market space of the same IP. So
Well, I look at the calendar of events page, for like just I was looking at it before the show tonight, and I'm like, there's so much going on.
yeah,
I just can't imagine. I mean, it's certainly not inactive, and it's not just people playing the game. There's so many other activities.
and I mean,
So
look at the numbers with servers where they said they had to stop server transfers to those 3 or 4 servers
that's
because
right.
they were full.
Yeah.
There are still plenty of players playing this game. It's not going away anytime soon.
All right.
Yay.
Let's head into our store sales.
I'm Terry Adwin. Not really. Her connection's a little flaky. So I'm doing store sales, and there is actually some pretty good stuff. The free sample of the week for this week, currently until January 7th, is awesome. It's 5 mithril coins, twice
awesome.
per account. So if you got creeps you want them on, you put them on your creeps. If you got freeps you want them on, you put them on your freeps. And it's great. And you can do both. And the coupon code's not here, probably so I don't try to pronounce it. 30% off. Legendary slot unlocks legacy tier upgrades, legacies, scrolls of combination, and relic removal scrolls in honor of Terry. Also, we've got triple points in the Turbine store.
Triple bonus points.
Yeah,
Like
triple
triple
bonus points. So if
Yes.
you buy, instead of, how you buy triple points and you get bonus points, there's triple those. You know what I'm saying? If you want to buy turbine points, do it.
Yeah,
Also,
it's really
time,
good time.
for sure.
Really good
this
time.
is the
Yeah.
time. And I don't know when do these end? Are these already over? No. Well, by the time most of y'all hear this, it'll be over. So, December deals for this week is 30% off expansions, 40% off milestone skills, so you can pretend you're a hunter, and 50% off morale and power scrolls, so you don't need a minstrel.
Yeah, and there are sales that are in the LOTRO store, so if these December deals run off and you can't get them in the in-game store, maybe check on the LOTRO store or on Steam because they are probably going to be going on through January 4th, I'm guessing, when the Steam sale ends. So
Is there a Steam sale going on right now?
yes,
Talk
huge
about
Steam
this.
sale going on right now.
Oh
You
my
can
gosh.
get
There's
get all sorts of fun stuff on Steam. For
there's
low.
10,000 over 10,000 games on sale right now on Steam. It's ridiculous.
gosh,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
it's their biggest sale of the year, and it's always huge. So yeah, definitely check out
doesn't-
Steam.
Why don't the show notes have the coupon code?
So I wouldn't try to
Yes.
pronounce it.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it
in.
was there. I used it.
Was it? Hang on,
Earlier,
I'll
yeah.
grab it out of my kinships. I may or
Used
may
to be
not
there,
be in the
Because I
game
used
right
it earlier
now.
today.
Yeah,
Ah,
we'll get the code
All right. While
later.
he goes and fixes the show notes, we will head on to our LOTRO Players News section where we'll begin with our poll, and that is, what are you looking forward to most in the producer's letter?
Yes, we asked people what they're looking forward to most from the recent producer's letter, and the top answer with 59 votes, 36%, was the possible new areas. So that's interesting that that was the top answer, especially since it was so vague on what we may or may not be
No.
getting.
Actually, I don't know if it's about to me other people, but that was the only place I could think of to put when I was most looking forward, of course, to Pelennor Fields.
Yeah, that's true.
And even though Pelennor Fields already exists technically, but the battle doesn't exist yet.
Well,
so.
that's
why
the
I
raid
put
and
it
instance
as
option,
cluster.
Pineleaf.
Yeah.
No,
That's why.
I was thinking about the epic storyline. The raid and instances
Okay,
aren't
that's
the
true.
epic story.
That's true. So anyway, the next option with 49 votes and 30% of the vote is the new raid, instance clusters. So that's pretty cool.
That's what I picked.
And next up, with 20 votes, 12%, was the quality of life improvements, which is a very vague one. And if you argue with me on this one, Pineleaf, then you're crazy.
Very definitely vague.
Yeah, very vague.
But they haven't decided all yet what all of them are going to be yet.
Right, and that's good because I'm assuming they'll do a similar thing like what they did last year where they just asked the player base. So that'll be good.
Right.
All right, next up is I am not looking forward to anything from the producer's letter, which has 9%. And with 6% is the level increase. And with 4% is the new emote collections. And with 2% is other. So, interesting poll. Not exactly. Everything kind of fell not quite where I thought it would. So, but it was in the general area. So, interesting.
And next we have our community's events calendar for December 25th through 31st. And it looks like some of the people who have regular events did not inform the calendar writer that there are certain things that have been canceled this week due to conflicts with the holidays, since I saw a couple things in there that I know were canceled this week.
Also,
Yeah.
Yule Fest is a thing still.
Yule Fest is a thing still.
So go
And
throw snowballs at people you love.
speaking of Yule Fest, there's a musical version called Winterstock, and it's the third one, and it's gonna have 41 bands, and it says 41 question mark exclamation, and then they answer yes 41, and guess what? It's gonna be coming up on January 15th through the 18th, and it's gonna be in the afternoon, evening, and it's gonna be awesome, and you should check it out because 41 bands. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
41?
41, almost,
That's
almost.
the one that takes place on the lake by Thorns Hall, right?
That is.
Yeah.
Almost the answer to life, the universe, and everything, but not quite.
Well, that means we need one more band.
Maybe there'll be a surprise late entry.
Well, we'll have to find out about that.
Yeah, but still, that's amazing. 41 bands. Winterstock has grown so much every single year that this is its third year, and because of the way that Winterstock is set up, there really is no limit to the number of bands that they could have. And so I'm really excited to see how this continues to grow in the years to come, and really excited for this year. Should be good.
Then let's head into our LOTRO video highlights. The one jetpack to rule them all. Jetpack?
Yes, Pineleaf, on the beta server, there is an item that developers can give you that is
That
the
I want.
jetpack item. And it can allow you to jetpack anywhere in Middle-earth. And you can get some amazing shots like they did in this video, and it makes me really wish that there was a Wanderer class / free cam in LOTRO so that we could get these amazing shots like this, because it's just fantastic.
Wanderer class with non-lore breaking jetpack.
But you know what I mean,
Well,
if they had
that's
like a
why-
cameraman
Yeah.
class or
Well,
something.
it would have to be eagle powered if it was,
Yeah.
to make it not.
Eagle power.
I think that Wanderer class needs to be a thing.
It does.
It really does.
It really
I
does.
agree.
You don't need any skills. You just set the aggro radius to 0. You can't attack anything, like set everything where you can't attack it. Or if you do attack it for some bizarre reason with like a melee auto attack, it kills you. Serves you right. And you set people on their way. You can't do quests. You're ineligible for everything. You can just run around. You're level 100 and whatever.
And they would
That's
make
it.
a ton of money from it.
They would.
They would make a ton of
They
money
really
from it.
would.
I
Imagine,
would
Corey would be
seriously-
able to give. We'd open up a travel agency.
Yeah.
Misgard would. Corey could look at all the architecture he wants to. He'd have like bus tours.
it would put Corey's stream protectors out of business though, because he has a
That's
small
true.
small personal army of people that follow
Yeah,
him around.
Kiriana, and his posses. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I mean,
But-
I have heard from so many people that they would play LOTRO if they didn't have to grind and they just wanted to
Yeah.
see what's in the game. They just wanted to see the areas. And this would be the way to do it.
People would play it too.
Oh yeah.
Like, people would get actual characters.
I mean, look at just general like open world sandbox MMOs where people can just walk around and explore things. It would just basically
Of course,
be
you know
an
what would
explorer
happen.
thing.
You give people the Wanderer class. can look around, and then they go, well, I want to see stuff happen. I want to see the story. Well,
Then roll a real character.
Then
With
roll a
you
real
gotta have a real
character and pay
character. You
Turbine
gotta
more
roll a real
money,
character
and then your
and
problem's
fight
solved.
and fight the good fight.
Yeah,
That's right.
it would bring so many. It's basically like a
That's true. It
demo.
actually would bring. You're right.
It's basically like a
We-
demo to the free Lotro.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be
I
really
mean,
cool, and they could make a ton of money off of it.
Yeah, I would pay 10, 15, 20 bucks for something
Yeah.
like that. For me, even though I have character that can
Right,
see
Yeah,
it.
me too.
exactly,
I would
yeah.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
We also have a holiday greeting from the Critter's Journey, and it looks like there are quite a lot of critters greeting us in this holiday card.
Yes, this is an awesome holiday card. It's impossible to describe. Just go check it out.
Yeah. And even though we have a holiday this week, the family line continues with part 72, Amethwin's Web. And any comments on that, or should we go on?
We could just use that to make the dress.
Oh yes, of course, for Arwen's dress.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like how Pine
Yeah,
Leaf
but
laughed,
finally
and then
was
he got the
laughing. He was trying to
reference.
figure out what are they talking about.
He was just laughing, like doing filler laugh, and he's like, "Oh, that
It's
was
good. It
funny.
was
Good
good.
job,
Let-
Andy."
I liked it.
Let's go to the new player question.
Okay, now this really is a real new player question. I mean, I'm asking this. I'm raising my hand. I know you can't see me, but I would like to. And this is actually, unfortunately, it's not for the listeners that are listening asynchronously. It's only for those of y'all who are in the chat room. This is an audience participation new player question. We're gonna do a poll.
You know that some people are going to answer when we post this.
Well, I'm sure they will. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, actually, that's good. Actually, we'll have a little conversation going on.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a poll, or are we just going to do it in the chat room? Because I don't have the chat room.
Let's just do it in the chat. Let's go.
Okay. So here's the deal. I've leveled several alts to level 50, and I want to upgrade one of them to 95 using the Blessing of the Valor. So I have 4 of them that are possibles: a captain, a Beorning, a warden, or a burglar. Which one should I level to 95?
So which classes do you already have at Cap?
Hunter.
Hunter.
And I've
Just
got
Hunter?
I've got a Runekeeper coming up. She's in her 70s, and I've got a Lore Master in his 60s. So those,
Well, down with bears.
if you notice something, my ranged classes, I got no problem with. I can play those all day. I love them. If you notice the ones I've got here, they're mainly melee,
Right.
up close
So first off,
fighters.
down with bears.
No, you can do
So-
up with
No,
bears.
no. Actually, I'm thinking Beorning because Terry is such a good friend of mine, and I should be thrilled if I took my Beorning to 95. She'd want
I would-
to quest with me all the time.
I would actually strongly recommend against Warden.
Yeah.
Because Warden Gambits require practice to learn more than other classes will. Like, you can't really just read tooltips necessarily. So I would strongly recommend against Warden.
And
There are
Uh,
tooltips?
Well,
No,
actually,
no, like
the way I
other
play
classes,
Warden
you
is
can
I
just
have
read
them
the
all set
tooltips
up.
and understand how to play, basically.
It's really cool on my Warden. I have them all set up. So I have got all 3, I've got the 3 fists, the 3 spears, the 3 shield, all the combinations with the gambit panel at the end of the 3, right? And so then I kind of spam my skills, and then I see what shows up in the gambit panel. I know Pine Lake's probably just absolutely like rolling his eyes. I go, oh, okay, I'll play that one.
well, it's funny, in reviews of Mines of Moria, people mention that you can literally just do that, and they're like, that's okay if you play that way.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
you
actually,
get
well,
stuff
I'm
done that
slowly
way.
getting to know particular ones because there's particular gambits I really, really like, and I'm actually beginning to memorize what's the combination to get to those. So I am making progress.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
I would also say, Burglar is a little bit more challenging too, so you might want to do that one
Right.
more gradually as well.
I would
I don't
actually,
know.
I would
Once you get to 50, the burglars
That's true.
doesn't change a whole lot.
That's true.
even
Except
even
for
before.
in combat, burglars that
Yeah, I
stealth
can
into a
tell.
disguise. You get to disguise
pretty
Yeah,
yourself as
that
an
is
enemy.
cool. That is cool.
I will say even before my the main captain for our kinship, she's in the stream chat and she's in my chat in kinship being like, you better tell her captain. In my kinship chat if she's watching. But actually I would recommend captain because that would be probably the most use at end game. Like if you've got friends and they've
Yeah.
already got enough
Yeah.
DPS. Just bring a captain. It makes everything better.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to know what you're doing on a captain either, I've discovered.
Just
Captains are
just
like
hit the
big men on
heal every time
campus.
something dies, and you're good to go.
The
Yeah. It's
captains
like,
that I've watched on stream have been like, I'm not totally sure I know what they're doing, but it seems to be working. I think they're
but it's
just,
okay because if somebody
you know,
dies in
most,
combat, it's like,
most
get the
other people,
captain.
it's just clicking skills, but I don't click skills, so it's just button mashing for me.
So
Yeah,
what's the consensus in the chat? Is anybody counting? I'm not looking at chat.
captain,
I think
warden.
captain seems to be
Cappy seems to be the leading one.
the
Yep.
popular one, yeah.
Anyone? Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's good. Now, I'm not necessarily going to, I still haven't decided, but I wanted to get input because input's valuable. So someday when I finally do this, I'll let y'all know. Maybe I'll let y'all know what I did.
I would say
Maybe give it a
down
week and
with
see what the
bears.
comments are.
Down with
But see,
bears.
the other
Or
thing that's
too
nice
complicated. Try
about
the
the
other
Bjorning
six.
is I could so totally go freepside and have such a good time.
Oh gosh.
I
Down with
should be on
bears.
Facebook,
Say it
so
with me, Terry.
down with bears. Tap bears. Nerf the bears.
And episode 30 was the first time Terry Adwin rage quit the podcast. And
Okay, well that's good. Thanks for the input, everybody. And actually, yes, I'm not going to be doing this like super soon. So if y'all are listening, like to the podcast, please write in if you've got any strong opinions about this. I'd love to get your input.
Yeah,
Because,
send us an email.
send us an email. Yeah, absolutely, and we'll share it. We'll just keep this conversation going for a while. Wow.
Then let's head into our week in Lotro. And Andink, did you do anything interesting?
you ask me that every time, Pineleaf. How am I even supposed to respond to that? It's just like,
Ooh, with the truth?
Yes, I did this.
yes, I
No,
did
my
interesting
week was
things
full.
this week, Pineleaf.
Now, could you make that sound less boring?
Wow. Wow, okay. Well. See, he calls me out every week. All right, here we go. Pineleaf, are you ready? This is
Okay.
exciting. This is exciting. I did 6 Lotro leveling streams this week.
6 of them.
6 of them.
Yes.
Yeah,
How did
and
you
I
manage 6
gained
of them?
I gained 5 levels across those 6 streams between 2 characters. So, pretty busy week with all of that. Basically 2 hours a week of streaming Lotro. So, tons of fun though. And got a lot of levels. Also, because I leveled, I was able to go and meet Glywine for the first time again.
Again.
And that was a ton of fun. I kind of forgot his origin story, like how we meet him. So that was pretty cool to
How could
have
you
a
forget
refresher
that?
course.
How could you possibly forget that?
Yeah, well, Glywine's pretty old, and that part of the brain's just disconnected. Anyway, also, I continued the search for Bingo, and may or may not have found him. You'll just have to play Bingo and find out for yourself. But
Okay.
anyway, Maven, what have you been up to?
Or they could watch your stream or your
Or they can watch my
episode.
stream.
Watch the stream. That's
Or
right.
watch
That's right.
Pineleaf stream.
So this week for me was sort of like mentor week. I actually got a lot of I acted upon the mentoring that several of you don't realize that you've done for me. So one of the things I did was I made major changes to my UI, and that's because of Aerother's UI. And so when I was studying up Aerother's UI on one of the streams, I'm like, I like what he's done with the place. So and so it made me think because it was like, gosh, duh. I mean, I don't have to have my vitals up in the upper left-hand corner. I could put it someplace else, So I kind of worked on it to get like everything set up on my screen the way that it works really well for me. So that was great. I managed to complete some feasts thanks to Carve and Terry. So Terry and Carve both gave me input on the whole feast thing. Although I will say that I have had many frustrations. Today was one where I got all the way to the end. I did what I was supposed to do and waited, but somebody waited longer than I did, and the dude caught up with me at the very last table and ate everything.
Oh.
So ticked
Oh.
off. And then the second time, I made it all the way, and I was just getting ready to go to the last table, and for some reason, I couldn't click on the announcer. I was like, I don't know what was going on. And then, of course, the more I couldn't do it, the more upset I got, and I ran out of time because I couldn't. And I had like 15 seconds. And anyway, so there was highs and lows on that. But anyway, I've made on my Berg, who I'm trying to get the feast piece for. I'm 2 out of 8 so far, so that's good. And then I leveled up a bunch of alts, as you know from the new player question, and including skirmish power leveling, which Carve taught me. And we leveled my Berg up almost 6 levels, doing skirmish power leveling. But we did not skirmish responsibly. Hobbits died. Bounders died. It was sad.
Oh, yeah, that's very
Um,
irresponsible.
very irresponsible. But then I did that then solo also after Carve showed me the deal. I've been using that to get my alts leveled up. So that was really fun. It was a great week. It was actually quite productive. Terry,
Yeah,
how
except for
about
now
you?
Hyacinth
Oh,
Tooth can't make her fireworks
oh
anymore.
yeah, Hyacinth. Those Hyacinths. Actually, I think Hyacinth's family has put a bounty on my head because that poor hobbit has died so many times while I
On the
was on
bright side, you're making enough
watch.
money from killing all those goblins over and over again. You can probably pay the bounty.
That's true. That's true.
That's
That's
true.
true. And
Pay 'em off.
I've killed Phil's off or whatever his name is now so many times. It's like cool. And it's really fun to go. Like I said last week, it's fun to go with my lore master because it's like running a 3-man. With my soldier and my lynx. It's like the 3 of us take it. And then I took my Beorning in, did the same thing, and died a few times because I didn't have I had the skirmish soldier, but I didn't have the other member of the group, and it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I need to rethink my strategy. Anyway, it was
See, now
fun.
what you
It
do
was
is you
good.
try 3-mans.
Yes, right. See, 3-mans with
There
actual
you go.
other people. Yeah.
Or an
Anyway,
actual
Terry,
3-man
sorry.
by yourself.
That's right. Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Terry, what did you do?
Well, it actually was a fairly slow LOTRO week for me because Santang got me something, and then Pine Leaf got me something. But I did some Yule Festival questing with about half a dozen characters across 3 servers. Not working on the Feast Beast on everybody, but trying to get some of that more the merrier deed out of the way. And Sarissa the Burglar did some more Enidwaith questing on my stream this past Sunday. She's up to the Huntsman storyline in the Mornshaws, so that's a lot of fun. Doing that area is so much easier when you can be sneaky and you don't necessarily have to kill every single wood troll that gets in your way. Because I remember I did that on Terry too, and I had to kill every wood troll and Limmeroffen and the hounds and everything because it all wanted to eat me, and none of it sees Sarissa. So I'm doing a lot more
Those things take
exploring.
a long time to drop, too, for some reason, it feels like.
That's because they summon an ad and then it sacrifices itself to give them a full heal.
No, like if you run away, they feel like they follow you forever.
Yeah, they do. They do. They follow you forever. And I skirmished responsibly with Pine Leaf yesterday during the field trip. We ran a couple wintry skirmishes because I don't have any snow here. Didn't get a white Christmas, and I'm kind of bummed. So we ran through some snowy skirmishes and then got a third person, so we ran Yorbar's Peak, which was interesting because it was my champion and a pair of bears.
Yeah.
I was tanking as the champion. We had Pine Leaf's bear as the healer, and we had the other bear as the DPS. And we only wiped once. And that's because I wasn't paying attention to what the boss was saying up at the top, and I died pretty much flat out. Got one-shotted right off the bat. It was ugly. So, Aerother, what'd you do?
I realized I was like, wow, I feel like I haven't really not done all that much this past week because I haven't because Christmas and busy. But I also realized that I've missed the past couple podcasts, so I can like cheat and bring in some other stuff. So the one thing that I'm going to cheat with that's not in the notes is that myself and Aldaliskin, we tried doing Fires of Smaug Tier 2C, and I was one of the tanks for it. It was a lot of fun. We didn't quite finish it because we had weird issues with heals and reses and stuff like that, things taking too long. But we didn't, like, the only reason we didn't is because we took too long. We had it nailed down, got him down to 30%, I think, before we ran out of health, before we ran out of time, the lowest we got. So it was pretty fun. And as far as things in the show notes, this past week, I've done the Bingo Boffin and Level Addicts Wednesday stream. So if you want to see what happens with Bingo Boffin, you actually have 3 choices of streams to watch. You can go to the LOTRO stream Twitch page, or you go via YouTube, whichever your preferred video watching platform is. And for Level Addicts Wednesday, I've been working on my minstrel, which is now level 78, I've slowed down a lot because I've been doing mostly epic quests after I got out of Enedwaith, and I hit a point where I was 75 and the epic quest got to level 80, and I was like, eh. And I realized I am playing a healing class and I have no idea how to heal a dang thing. So from level 75 to 80, I'm only healing groups. Like that's all I'm doing for those 5 levels. And so far I'm up to level 78, about halfway through. And I've been having a lot of fun and getting not halfway bad at healing, I think. Actually, my high point, which was actually on that Level Addicts Wednesday stream, was Fornost Earth. You know, when you have that one boss that summons approximately the entirety of Middle Earth halfway point through the fight, and you have like a mazillion ads all at
Uh-huh.
once. I ended up with probably half a dozen of them on me, and I was like minstrel tanking and healing everybody and keeping myself alive. And I was very happy with that performance. And I didn't, nobody died the whole run, so that was fun. Also been making some easy money on my little minstrel guy, which I kind of feel bad about, but kind of don't. This actually happened in the past hour or two. Somebody was like, "Need want to buy emerald shards? Please send tell." And somebody was like, "You can get them from the skirm camp." 10 minutes later, "Want to buy 4 emerald shards? Please send tell." I'm like, "How much?" 80 gold. All right, I went to the skirm camp, bought 4 emerald shards, sent them off, got 80 gold. Sure, I will gladly sell you 4 emerald shards. I won't say who it was. And the biggest news of my Lotro week is that I finally finished the Song of Aid deed on my minstrel. Yay! It's basically the hardest class deed in the game. You got to do this 2 minute cooldown skill 500 times, and you have to be in Yellow Lion Minstrel like trait. You have to trait completely differently to get it, which is stupid annoying. So now
You
I'm done
mean
with Yellow
this?
Line trading probably forever. I see its merits, like it's good with buffs, but eh.
I think I'll never finish that one on my min. I'm not even too sure I've ever even started that one.
Hey, in my opinion, like on this particular minstrel, I doubt I'll get through like all of the trait points. I've got 77 on my guardian, and I just got the 77th. That's another thing I did. Got my 77th one for 200 epic battle points because I'm not a fan
Wow.
of those terribly much. So I probably won't do all of that on my minstrel. So I'm probably going to end up with like 73, 74, maybe 75 points on my minstrel because I don't feel like doing all of them. And so I was like, I'll do this one. I'll give my minstrel this point. So I've done it and then it's done. So that's why I did it. Pine Leaf. What'd you all end up doing? You all being you. All the Pine Leaves.
Right.
Oh, yeah, all the pine leaves.
It's more accurate than you think, yeah.
Yes. On my YouTube Bjorning, the one where I'm doing my Piney Plays Bjorning series, I completed the Wildemore Epic, and so I am there around, I guess, level 85, somewhere 85 or 86, somewhere in that region up on there. And that means that it started the next year, I will be able to start and get onto Book 11 into Western Gondor. And not Gondor,
You mean
Rohan.
Western Rohan?
Rohan, yes. And I resumed playing the character that I used for LOTRO Players Adventures. I hadn't played that character much, and I decided to dust off that character and do a little bit leveling on there. I got to level 79 on my own, and then I joined Andang today on his leveling stream, and I got to 81. So that worked out pretty well, and I finally learned some of the applications for that Hobbit +2 racial hope skill that I don't think until today I had ever actually slotted. But I was But even though I was leveling with this, one of the other things I noticed is that I had fallen behind in the epic storyline. So after doing this stuff with Anding, I decided to run over and actually this was just before the stream. I did the epic up in the Great River. As you come
Oh
time
wow.
for the, and you're, and you come to this instance where you're supposed to, where you're with Nona and you meet this Nazgul and all that stuff. So therefore, there's dread all over the place.
Yeah.
And I noticed I had no hope tokens on me. So what am I going to do about hope? So eventually, what I decided, okay, I could use my book, one that you get from doing the epic in Dunland, but on top of this, I still needed another sort of hope because that would only give me +1. All right, I could, and what I decided to do was to slot my Hobbit thing in that before doing that instance, so that gave me an extra +2, so I had +3 hope in all, and that still left me with 1 dread, but it's certainly a lot better than being down around 3 dread. And I thought it could be very useful to have that ability when you're doing assault in the Ringwraith's lair.
Provided you don't bring hope tokens, sure.
Of course,
Yeah,
there's a skirmish application to it. I should have seen that
Of
coming.
course.
Should have seen that coming.
you should see that. Right. So yeah. So if you don't have any hope token, it could come in handy for the boss fight for Assault on the Ringwraith's lair. So I thought of a couple of applications you could have for this Hobbit +2 hope ratio skill, which is something that I never even bothered to slot before. And finally, I ran Stormal Methodist many, many, many times.
You can tell because he literally the only note in it is Storm on Methodist. There's no explanation. It's
I
just
wonder
Storm on
why
Methodist.
I ran that one.
Well, what else is there to say?
Fair enough.
Though I guess my highlight on doing Storm Methodist was that I finally was able to get the names of all 4 of the Drakes.
Cool.
Yeah,
So,
because that's something because in Gondaman, I think it is that both Drakes have the same name. They didn't bother giving them
Yeah.
different names. So in Storm Methodist, yes, they do bother
Yep.
giving them separate names and separate abilities. And that was the thing I finally figured out.
Yeah, it's weird that they do that, but they do.
So we currently have 21 supporters on Patreon. If you would like to join this illustrious rate of players and help LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest host on LOTRO Players News. And how far are we from the next goal?
Well, Pineleaf, we are now only $6.49 away from a Lotro 1-year VIP code giveaway. It would be super, super awesome to be doing this for the new year, or sometime in the new year. So, really, really excited about this. We're very close to a 1-year VIP code giveaway for Lotro on Lotro Players.
We do not have any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@lotroplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotro Players @LotroPlayers, Andang @PVNP_Andang, Aerithert @Aerithert, Carvet @CarvetLP, Maven @TolkienMaven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News, and this week we will be having our end-of-year special, so please tune in for that if you have any interest in DDO. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And every other Saturday after LOTRO Players News, we have Tales of Free Folk, and our next show will be January 2nd. You could join us for a live show at ttoplayers.com/live. Thank you all for listening. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.